Ancient Romans. Let's go. So we know Rome was a genius for organizing. And the Roman army was just one example of this. I mean, in that time frame, Rome was controlling the world. Amazing army. No army could stand against them. Just absolutely phenomenal in the way that they organized things. You could see that in ancient Rome, too, as a republic, what they did politically. And we can see all the crazy stories and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it lasted a long time, way more advanced than any civilization at that time. So super badass in what they could actually organize and do. And I want to kind of talk about, Wally Bock talks about this, B-O-C-K, and I thought it was really interesting. He uses like a way, it's like a way where you can see things that are extremely simple and make rules or regulations that appeal to human nature that are easy to follow. Because so many times, and I was in the military, and a lot of you guys can know this, especially with government, is you'll have attorneys get involved, and they'll make laws, rules, regulations, whatever it may be, and it could be like a memorandum of 12 pages. No one's going to follow that. No one reads the whole thing. Show me one person besides that attorney who read all 12 pages. Even the people that sign them don't read it all. And this is a prime example in the Roman army. There was this really effective, super simple thing. So they were allotted, being in the army, you're allotted a single loaf of bread as a daily ration. And that was for 2 soldiers. So each one got half a loaf of the bread. So, obviously, human nature is going to kick in and greed's going to kick in. And you're going to want the larger of the 2 chunks, right? And shit could go down with that. You could people fighting depending on how hungry they are. It could be a pretty intimidating situation. One soldier looks at the other soldier, knows he can kick his ass, knows that he's, the list goes on and on. You could write a huge list of how you could, I have a higher rank and so on and so on. So they had to come up with a super simple rule that Roman soldiers would follow. It needed to be very, very simple. And this is awesome. One soldier would divide the loaf into 2 pieces. The other soldier would pick the piece he wanted. No extensive regulations on how to divide the loaf. There was no manual describing what constitutes a half loaf and the exact, measurements. There was no laws about what would happen to a soldier if he cheated on his partner with the loaf. There was no training in loaf division. It was just a simple rule. One soldier would divide the loaf into 2 pieces. The other soldier would pick the piece he wanted. You do not need to draft long, complex regulations or instructions to deal with issues with your team or your organization, your business, whatever it may be. The best rules are simple to understand, simple to follow, and use human nature as a self-regulating force. And I guarantee you, if you can follow this simple process, and it takes creativity, you're going to have to sit there and think like, what are the problems that I'm facing? Whether it's simple things, maybe you own a gym and you don't want people throwing weights around. Come up with a simple rule. Think about it. And this is a great exercise for your creativity. It's awesome. Or if you have employees or create a challenge out there, say, hey, we want to create this simple rule. It needs to be simple to follow, simple to understand, and uses human nature as a self-regulating force. And have people come up with that and give like $100 gift certificate or something to go out to dinner. And then put that above maybe you're having issues with the water fountain. Maybe you're having issues in the bathroom. Maybe you're having issues with customer service. Whatever it may be, create these super simple. Don't send a long email out. No one reads those. I'm telling you right now, your email is not as important as you think it is. All the emotion that you did typing in that email and as pissed off as you were as a leader, they didn't catch any of that. You could send a video out, but that's going to look bad. It'll go on their TikTok showing how much of an asshole of a boss you are. And if you decide to go rant and rave in a meeting, someone has a camera on, or they're going to put the camera on and they're going to hide it and you're not going to see it and you're going to look like an ass online. Always check yourself. I talk about self-awareness all the time. Always feel like you have a camera on you. Think about this. You do not know if somebody, I've heard stories over and over again, people bringing microphones in or leaving their phone on record when they're doing coaching sessions, whatever it may be. Think about that. You can be professional and still have them do most of the talking. If you have them do most of the talking, 80% of the talking when you're coaching, you're just asking question after question after question, and you're allowing them to talk. There's really, if you're just asking questions and the questions are legit and they're coaching questions, there's not going to be any issues ever. Your meeting should be about that too, just asking questions and letting your employees talk. If you're talking on and on and on like most leaders do, you're just going to set yourself up. The safest way to do it is to give encouragement always. And when you need to have discipline, if it's a woman and you need to discipline her, make sure you're very professional with it. Leave the door open or bring somebody else in there. Bring her boss with you, and then you three have a conversation. It's very, very simple. You can record the conversations too. If you're firing somebody or you're, you can and then just keep that recording. Put it on a USB drive and put it in their file. One of those disposable USB drives. If that's something, you could put a camera in your office. You know, and then if somebody says you're being inappropriate, and I want this to be about this because I'm kind of going off on a rabbit trail here. But I'm just saying use simple to understand, simple to follow, and use human nature as a self-regulating force. And you're going to eliminate all this other bullshit. You're going to eliminate all this legal jargon, the self-regulations, all of this manual describing what would exactly happen, the laws that you have to put in place, the training, all that goes away if you can just keep it simple, stupid. You know, I use the KISS method on myself all the time. I always say that, Jason, keep it simple, stupid. You're overcomplicating this. You're getting like too in the weeds. Move on. And that's what I'm going to do in this podcast.
Thank you for joining us on the Albuquerque Business Podcast. And thanks to our sponsor, RigbyDigital.com. Make sure to subscribe and share. And go to abqpodcast.com. Get show notes, resources, and links to everything we talked about today to help you navigate your journey as an entrepreneur and business owner.